It's not in the Torah. So why do we say it? And why do we say it quietly? Right? We say Baruch Shem. Try to say it quietly. Why do we do that? So the origin of this Baruch Shem, this statement, there's two origin stories, and I think they both play into why we do it quietly during the year. And there's a time we do it out loud on Yom Kippur. So both those origin stories, they're going to explain that difference. That sometimes we say it quietly, sometimes we say it out loud, and also like why we inserted it into the Shema. You should because the rest of it is just paragraphs from the Torah, right? So one of the origin story goes back to Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu was on his deathbed, and he was worried that one of his children might not be holy or pure. Every generation before him had one that was like the not so good one, Esav and Yishmael. So he was worried one of them wouldn't have strong faith in Hashem. So they all said to Yaakov, they said, Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Shem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Shema, listen, Israel. His name was Israel. Listen, Israel. Hashem is our God. Hashem is one. So they told him that. He felt relieved. What did he say at that point? Baruch Shem Kivod Malchut Haolam. That's what he said. Okay, so it was a high praise of Hashem. He said, "Oh, thank God is blessed, and God's name is revealed in my progeny and in the world." And so after that, the sages said, "Well, we should put that in the Shema, the daily Shema." But they said, "But it's not in the Torah." So we should put it in the Shema, but it's not in the Torah. So what's the compromise? There's always a compromise. We'll do it quietly, and that's why we do it quietly during the year. There's another origin story of this from the Midrash, which says when Moshe received the Torah, he was in heaven, and he heard the angels saying this praise. Baruch Shem Kavod. He heard them saying it out loud. And he said, I'm gonna take this. This is a good praise. Baruch Shem Kavod literally means blessed is the name of God forever. Baruch Shem, blessed is Baruch Shem Kavod. Blessed is the name of God's glory forever. Basically, God is revealed in this world. God's name is God's revelation. And so he heard them doing that praise, like, I'm going to steal that. So he stole that. Now, we can't say it out loud throughout the year because we took it from the angels. It's their prayer. But on Yom Kippur, why might we be able to do it?
We're trying to be like angels.
We're trying to be, or maybe we are. We're acting like angels, so we can say it on Yom Kippur. So that's really the origin story of why we do it quietly. We do it quietly really because of that Yaakov story. But we do it out loud on Yom Kippur because of the Moshe Rabbeinu story went up to heaven. It's very interesting. There are times when we're not consistent with either of these. There's times when we say Baruch Shem Kavod out loud, and it's not Yom Kippur. Does anybody know when we do that? There's a prayer that we make on Friday night. We say Ana B'Koach. It's a prayer. At the end we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut. We say it out loud. So obviously there's another place where we say it. If you say a bracha, a blessing, in vain, you're supposed to correct it by saying Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut. You say it out loud. So obviously the Moshe Rabbeinu story that we stole it from the angels, we can't say out loud. We're not completely consistent with it. And if it was only the Moshe Rabbeinu story, then why are we specifically inserting in the Shema? So obviously you need the Yaakov story as well. So both these stories work together. That's the origin story of this. The question that remains is, why is this such an angelic prayer? Why did you hear them saying this in heaven? This blessing, and he stole it. I have to take this blessing. Maybe, and it's kind of based on Rav Eliezer, maybe Rav Eliezer Malamed says something like this. Maybe the idea of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto is to be able to see Hashem in everything. Blessed is God's glory, God's Baruch Shem Kavod, the name of God's glory, God's glorified name in this world. You're able to see God's glorified name in this world, God's revelation. It's not easy to do that. And so that blessing, maybe we can't say it all throughout the year because we don't really understand it. Like, it's hard to see godliness, and you open the news, and it's hard to sometimes find Hashem there. You get caught off in traffic. It's hard to see Hashem. You're going through pain and struggle. It's hard to see Hashem. So we can't always say it. But on Yom Kippur, when we're on that high divine level, then we can say it out loud. We can say, I see Hashem. You're glorious in everything. I see you in every single thing. So we're striving for that. In Aleinu, we say, V'yomahu yeh Hashem echad. What do we say? Ushmo. Ushmo, we say it a few times. But the idea is, in the future, we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to see Hashem is one, and also God's name is one. So we're yearning for that time. Right now, we're saying it quietly, but hopefully we get there. We'll be able to see God's revelation in its fullness, be able to see Hashem in everything. That's what we're striving for.